Students, good morning all of you. I hope you all are well and following the COVID precaution. Now you all are very excited and in a couple of days you are coming to school to attend your classes. But for that, bring your own sanitizer, bring your own water bottle, everything bring your own. Don't share anything with your friends, with your classmate, okay? And don't forget to bring your consent form as well. So in the previous video we were discussing about the air pressure and we have just go through with the one experiment. Now in today's also we are going to discuss some of experiments to get to know about this much more. Okay. Now look at this experiments with balloons. What do we hear? These are all simple experiments which can be very easily tried at your home. So take two balloons, blow them up and then attach them to a string as it's shown on the screen. So you just fix these balloons and leave a considerable distance between the two balloons. Now at the same time they should not be kept very far apart. Like considerable distance between the two balloons, tied them to a string. Now what do? You blow hard in the space between the balloons. So when you blow hard, what happens when we blow? Now this particular region have a movement of air. That region will have higher wind speed because the air will be moving faster because of our blowing. Now what happens due to this when we blow? Now an interesting thing happen. We see that the two balloons tend to come close to each other. So as we blow, the two balloons start coming near each other. So the question is, what causes these two balloons to attract each other? Why are they experiencing an attractive force between themselves? That's the cause. What happens is, when we blow hard, basically the region between these two balloons, in this region, somewhere here, the wind speed is more. Now, I have told you something before also that with the region where the wind speed is more, it will always be accompanied with low air pressure. Therefore, the air pressure in this region is less because wind speed is more. We learned about it, right? When wind speed is more, air particle is moving really fast. They do not have enough time to exert pressures. Therefore, air pressure is low. So basically this region, if we name this region as region 1 and region 2 and region 3, so what do we see? That the region 2 comparatively have lower air pressure. So the air pressure in region 2 is less, but the air pressure in region 1 is high. So I'm just talking about comparatively values. So in region 2 the air pressure is less compared to region 1. Similarly, when compared to region 3, also region 2 has less air pressure. So basically here air pressure is more, here air pressure is more, but in this region air pressure is less. So what will happen? So air tends to flow from region 2 higher pressure towards the lower pressure. So air will flow in this direction. Similarly, in this case, air will flow in this direction from region 2 higher pressure to the region of lower pressure. As air blows, as wind blows, what happens? It exerts a pressure on the balloon which makes the balloon also move in the direction of wind. And as a result, they both tend to come to near each other. That is why the attraction happen between the balloon. So this happen only when we blow in between the space between the two balloons, because when we blow hard, only then the wind speed is in region increases, because of which the air pressure is reduced. So that's how you see these are some simple experiments, but a lot of time we do not know why this happens, and that is very much important if we really want to understand the science around us. Let's look at here another example which is very popular experiment, you can say. Here we will make a use of a paper balls and a bottle. So all you need is one bottle. Take a small ball of paper. And what is paper ball? Basically you take a small sheet of paper just to crumble it to form a tiny ball. Now you have to ensure that size of the ball should be such that it is smaller than the mouth of the bottle, so that it is possible it inside the bottle. So that is how the size of paper ball should be. Now you try this out. Take the place where the bottle like this, hold it like this, and put the small paper ball just at the mouth of the bottle. Now then you blow hard. When you blow hard, what do you expect? Now since we are blowing hard, we are trying to push this ball into the bottle. That is our aim. That because we think when we blow hard, we are exerting some pressure on this ball and therefore it should move in. But actually what happens, do you know that? So when you actually blow on the ball to force it into the bottle, the result is that the ball tends to come out of the this bottle. So that's quite surprising again, because we are thinking that when we blowing hard, when we exerting pressure to the ball, it moving, but instead of moving, it is moving out. So let's try to understand what happened when we blow into the mouth of the bottle. Again, the air which is present near the mouth of this bottle, the speed of the air increases because we are blowing hard, right? So the wind speed at the mouth of the bottle would be more. So basically in this region the wind speed would be more. Now when the wind speed is more, so this will be accompanied by air pressure. So the air pressure would be less. So reduced air pressure. Why the air pressure reduce? Where did the air pressure reduce? At the mouth of the bottle. But air pressure inside the bottle, how it is? It is more, because here we are talking about comparatively values. When we blow hard at that point of time, since the wind speed is in this region is increased, therefore the air pressure reduced. But inside the bottle, the air pressure is comparatively more. Correct. Now what have you learned? We have learned that when air move from higher pressure to a lower pressure region, so basically the moving air or the wind will actually moving in this direction. It exert pressure. So this will exert a pressure on the wall, and the ball tends to come out of the bottle. That's the logic. So even though we are blowing hard, we are giving some force to the ball, but actually when we are blowing hard, we are increasing the wind speed in that region, and since the wind speed is increasing, the air pressure is reducing, and due to the difference in the air pressure, the wind start blowing in the opposite direction, which make the balls move out. So all these experiments tell you that the concept of air pressure exists. Because you see, if you say that no, I would not agree that something like air which exists, in that case how would you be able to explain all these phenomena which happens? Because this is not something imaginary, this actually happened. You can try it at yourself also. So how you justify this experiment if you do not know the concept of air pressure? So we again look at the beautiful experiment. Here we will use a strip of paper. So here what we do is, instead of the bottle, now we take a strip of paper. As you can see here, a thin rectangular tiny strip of paper. So you hold it near your mouth, but we are not doing anything, we are just holding it. Just look at the way this strip of paper is. It is like hanging, okay? It is not very thick sheet of paper, it is just like a normal thin strip of a paper. So it tends to be like this. It doesn't remain straight at all. Now you just try to blow it. When you try to blow it hard, in this case what happens? Before it was hanging, okay, but now it is moving up in the upward direction. You see, it is moving in the upward direction. Okay, so this happened because we are blowing it from here. That is also surprising. Now we are not applying any pressure in this direction. We are basically blowing hard in this direction, which would actually make it go all the way down. But instead of that, it is moving, it is coming up. So why is that? Again here, when we blow hard, what happens? The wind speed in this region increases. So let's call this region as region 1 and this region as region 2. So the region above the strip of the paper is region 1 and the region below the strip of paper is region 2. Now when we blow hard, we are actually blowing in the region 1. So what happened in region 1? Here the wind speed increases. Now when wind speed increases, it is accompanied by low air pressure. So therefore the air pressure decreases. Now we have less air pressure in region 2 and we have more air pressure in region 2. Sorry, in region 1 we have special, in region 2 we have high air pressure. Okay, so again the same logic, air move from higher pressure toward the lower pressure. So basically air will move in this direction and this wind will pressurize the paper also to move in the same direction, and that is why the strip of paper tends to come up when we blow hard above it. So these are all experiments and all of these are so handy that you can actually perform them yourself and you can enjoy the beauty of science. Now sometimes this concept of air pressure can be extremely dangerous. You might be wondering that okay, we learnt about wind. So wind is actually a nice thing. When we go out or if a breeze is blowing, we feel good. The trees move. We get to see nice scenery. So there is, but sometimes this air pressure can turn out to be very dangerous. So here we will see that how concept of air pressure is so dangerous that it can even cause the huge destruction. Because sometimes it sounds very surprising that how can wind cause so much of loss to the property, how can it cause the destruction of houses and the roads and buildings, how can it cause that? So we will see that how the simple concept of air pressure can actually make the roof of a house fly away with the wind. So what happens during storm? What do we mean by storm winds? When we say storm winds, we basically means winds which are blowing with a very high speed. Now, when we say that wind is very high, is in very high speed and it blowing above the roof, that means the speed of the wind is more. Therefore, the air pressure is going to be very less above the roof. So let's say this is a house. So just an example, right? Above the roof of the house, since the wind is moving at a very high speed, therefore the air pressure here is going to be less. But the air pressure inside the house is going to be more. So here the air pressure is more. So what happens? Since the air pressure is more and here the air pressure is less, we know that air tends to flow from region of higher pressure towards the lower pressure. So basically, wind will end up blowing from bottom to top, and this would exert an upward force of the roof of the plant which result in destruction, and a lot of time the roof itself gets carried away with the wind. Therefore, only those buildings or those houses survive which are like very strong and which are built in such a way that they can resist or they can withstand the wind speed. That's one thing. Whether destruction will happen or not depend on the intensity of wind. That is also another factor which decide how much destruction is happen. But here you see, just with the same concept of air pressure, we can understand that how the houses break under strong wind. Now, how are wind current generated? Now we got to know that the air move from one region to another due to the difference in pressure. So in the newspaper you might have seen that there are a lot of newses like there is a cyclone which is taken place or there is a strong wind currents in some region of Karnataka. So these kinds of news keep coming up. How exactly these winds current generated? Okay, so I mean at the end of it we want to know why it needs to be moved from one region to another. So here we will again do one experiment in order to understand the mechanism. Now in order to understand this mechanism, we need to first talk about a very important property of air, and that property of air is what will be seen in the experiment. So here what we do is, we take a test tube or a boiling tube, which is very commonly available in your laboratory. So you just take a slender tube, okay, take a balloon and tie the balloon over the neck of the tube. So the balloon is not inflated right now, it is just tied tightly using a thread or anything to the mouth of the neck of this test tube. Now what we do, we put this entire tube inside a beaker which contains some cold water. So cold water in the sense normal water at normal temperature. So what happens to the balloon? The balloon remain as it is, there is no change in the balloon. Now what we do is, we take the same tube and put it in a beaker containing hot water, and what do we see? We see that balloon is inflated. Now just say how the temperature play a role in increasing the balloon. When the balloon is inflated, what is contained inside the balloon? Nothing but an air. So basically, when it was put in the hot water, the test tube to some extent got heated up, and this heat was responsible for inflation of the balloon. So this heat caused the air inside the balloon to get expanded. So air expanded. Now when air expanded, it needed more space. It is something like in order to keep this balloon, you need very small space. And when you inflate it, you need more space. So inside the air is actually expanding, it needs more space. And balloon being elastic provide that flexibility to expand, and that's why it expands. But what do we learn from this experiment? This experiment, expansion of air is because of heating, that's why we can say that air expands when heated. So when we heat air, it expands, and this property is very, very important in order to understand the way wind current generated, because there we will see it play a very important role. Now we will perform another experiment using paper cups, and here also we will see, we will conclude with the same property of air. Here what we do, we take two paper cups, put them inverted, and then please make sure that the paper cup are empty. Okay, there is nothing in it. Okay, please ensure that it is empty. So hang them inverted from a rod. You take a rod, take two threads and hang the two paper cups in this way. Then what you do, you take a thread and tie it in the middle of the rod, so that this rod itself hangs and it can stay in the balance. Since both the paper cups, they weigh the same, they have same weight, therefore when you actually hang it entire rod, so what happens is, after some time it is in a stable position where both the paper cups are at the same level, right? So this is pretty simple, you can do at your home. Now what you can do is, you place a burning candle below a paper cup. So you just below the one paper cup, let's call paper cup 1 and paper cup 2. So below paper cup 1 we have placed a candle. Now due to the flame of this candle, what would happen? So it will kind of heat up the air which is present here. In this surrounding, the air will get heated up, and what have we learned? That air expands on heating. So what do you think what happened in this case? So as we start heating up the paper cup 1, after some time what we observe is, gradually the paper cup 1 is moving up, and therefore the entire balance of the two paper cups get disturbed. So the paper cup 1 is going up and the paper cup 2 is coming down, and however there is no external force which is being applied for this change to happen. So the only thing which we provided is heat, and when this heat was provided, the air in this area, it got expanded. So when the air expanded, it needed more space. So it created more spaces for itself and it pushed the paper cup up. And that's how paper cup 1 moved up, and that the entire balance got disturbed, because when this moves up, obviously the other one has to come down. It is like the seesaw which you would have seen in the kids playing in the garden. So this comes down, this has to go up. If this has to go up, this comes down. So in this case, as it goes up, so obviously paper cup 2 come down and the entire balance get disturbed. Here also we see that we understand that when we heat up air gets expanded. So the logic behind this is pretty simple. So let's try to understand this concept of expansion. Let's just say we have this much of space, and within this much of space you have these many particles. So that is one scenario. Okay, so a specific number of particles localized in this region. Now if in this entire region it start expanding, suddenly instead of this space, now you have this much space, and the same number of particles are scattered. They are like present away from each other, scattered, sorry. So as soon as it expanded, it needed more space, so it occupied more space. So that was one thing. The second thing is that when it occupied more space, basically the particles get spread over a larger area. So overall the weight of this particle, this entire thing as such, reduces when compared to this. So it is like something which is light hollow. Why it is hollow? Because there is a very less space in between, so that is going to be lighter when compared to something which is very compact and dense. So it's the same thing happen here, and the same thing happen with air as well. So when we heat up air, it expands, and when air expands, it becomes lighter, and when it becomes lighter, it tends to rise up, and that's what happened here. So here the air which is present here, this air was heated up, expanded, and it become lighter, and that's how it bent up, and as it rose up, it pushed the cups 1 also in the upward direction, and as a result the entire balance got disturbed. So this is another experiment which tells us very beautifully how air expands when heated. And the same thing observed in lot of things. When you see the candle flame, when you look at the incense stick, we often use it while doing puja. Smoke tends to go up, flame goes up. Okay, so again when we burn paper, the flame tends to go up. So why it happens? That's because air expands on heating. So whenever you burning the paper, the air above it start expanding when heated, and therefore the air becomes lighter and the warm air rises up, and the smoke which we see is nothing but a warm air. Okay, I hope this would be understood by all of you, and if you have any confusion, you can ask me in your Google Meet classes. Thank you, students.